All right, only a few more to go. Welcome to Chapter 8. Chapter 8 really focuses on public opinions, campaigns, and elections. So it's sort of the next extension of now that we've sort of built this firm base around the political system and the structure and political parties and interest groups. Now we're going to be look at the issue of what is public opinion, how it's formed, in the process of political campaigns and elections. And it's interesting because public opinion, I would argue, is one of the most important aspects of our democracy. It's what the public believes about various issues. How do you feel about what's going on in Iran right now? How do you feel about global warming, or climate change? How do you feel about those things? And where does your opinion come from? And sadly enough, in some ways, people get their opinions from all kinds of sources that aren't really credible, and they'll build their base based on misinformation. Now, remember early in the book, I told, in fact, the first chapter, I said that, the very basis of understanding of any level of political science is power. And what power is the ability to influence. And they do it frequently and I've told you the four different examples: force, persuasion, manipulation, and exchange. And when we talk about public opinion, frequently it deals with manipulation. In other words, they manipulate the public by either lying directly to us or by leaving out information that might be essential to help form our opinion about an issue. And as long as they can control the levers of information, then they are the ones where you derive what you believe about issues that are very important to you. And so it's an important, for example, an example I use in my class, I'll say, what if you read a poll that said that 90% of people polled believe that climate change is not real? Now, in your head, you might think, wow, 90% of people don't believe climate change is real. Now, here's the thing. What if I took that poll with 10 people? I did this in class once where I had 10 people. I counted out 10 people and I said, okay. And I said, now, all of you, 90% of the people polled believe climate change isn't real. I said, I counted off 9 of them. I said, that's 90%. So I took a poll with just 10 people, and 9 out of 10, and I just use it as an example, could believe climate change is not real. And if I put it out there publicly, you're not thinking or asking the question of how many people I polled from, was the poll from. You're just believe I've told you is true. And this applies in all different types of iterations. I mean, depending on where I take a poll. If I want to take a poll that supports a woman's right to choose, for example, I take it in an area that's more progressive, like in an area like California, it supports most of California, Washington, Oregon. If I want the opposite of that, I take it in a place in either in the Bible Belt, the Midwest, or the South, and you can get a totally different type of poll and result. So they don't normally tell you those things, but you start to believe them based on what they tell you, and without recognizing where the polls come from. Now, I'm not saying that all polls are bad. I'm just simply saying that you have to be careful where the polls come from and the quality of the poll, because these are where we start to build our belief about this world we live in and how we see the world is based on public opinion. And if you think that the majority of people think a certain way, most people are sort of wired to be on the winning team, so we'll jump on board with with what we perceive to be the winning team, even if it doesn't make any sense. Um, so in this, you'll learn about what public opinion is, how it's formed, um, particularly in relation to voting in the United States and how it works with the United States and how we decide who we're going to vote for and the opinions about who are running for office during various presidential races and things like that. We'll also learn about the Electoral College. You learn about the general election. The question always comes up, even now: do we need an Electoral College to decide on the president, or can we use the popular vote, meaning one person, one vote? Um, we would have had some very different outcomes in some of the more recent elections had we used the popular vote. But that would also require you being more knowledgeable about the people who are running and not just voting based on emotion, but voting more on rational thought. Anyhow, that's chapter 8, and I will see you for chapter 9.